to formua obete esemontre so ayo ye kire mu eden omanimo yebetwa so po akonkrofo aman so Kenya man no omanfo atiese montre so ye kire no eden se mampanyine William Ruto mfa ne dwumadi ento fom se mampanyine nanso aposefo ne asrafo sane tear gas egu wonom so amana ye pinso ewo manimo Ebusia esima aduasanta monsema wodo ayede esum woni ene ensam wodo binom eka ho meka wo se kasebo e wo hye e wo kasafo nyina wodo no so afiefie mu abefo ntetefide ne yede somwo my Ctv GH social media handles wodo no obo my Ctv GH kasebo e pie ba no anya bi ahwekai na toma no mfefo ema wonom so anya bi nhwe okenkanfo awie ye me Afia Brempomaa Hineh me dame ho abansam no ha berebesomo Mama kwaba fe ensem no enie ye sha se free mampanyine nana dankwa akufo ado akache one ensemtrofo atwetwe nkomo abo Korea aman no abaso se ye ka ewiase afa na baabia omanya won madesua nsem gyina na so pememu a eye Korea aman no esanse ahwase no wonum fatma moto ye wode eto adesua so anaso wogina adesua so ene to oman no efapem enti ene wonum akọ wonim adesua mu nsam echen ewiase afana baabia.
And I think it's extremely important for Ghanaians and the wider African community to remember that we began our independent life at the same time as the Republic of Korea. Because Korea and Ghana became independent within weeks of each other, one in Southeast Asia and the other in West Africa, Ghana and Korea. 65, nearly 70 years later, the difference in the development experience of both countries doesn't require me to point it out. It is obvious. I think there's one thing that we have not understood, which we need to understand here in Ghana, is that the commitment that was made there about investment in the development of their human capital was extraordinary, and they have reaped the rewards of it. We need to make the same commitment here. Unfortunately, you have political leaders who make statements like, if I have 2 billion CDs, I'll not spend it on free education. It's unfortunate that we have leadership of that sort here in Ghana. But the key for us is to recognize that unless we make the investment, and when you're making investment, it means you're having to make choices between several options. And we have to recognize that some things within our limited resources we may not be able to address at the same time as the investment that we're making in education. Education represents the biggest segment of our national budget and has been so since I came to office 7.5 years ago. And God willing, it will continue to be the pattern in our country. We need to recognize that investment, the investment in the development of our human capital, is the surest way of reaping the dividends of substantial and significant progress. So for these reasons, I'm very happy that this meeting is taking place here in Accra, that you've all come here to deliberate and look at this exceptionally important issue. And I'm hoping that out of here will come the larger outreach to the wider African community that will then get action that we require.
Ora Henry Cote yeso for ohwe amanywe so ode atudwa senya no kreda se na so ye no edi animu afa nipa be sempim du ba kwa adwumam akọ ahobambo adwuma yiku awodo ya ewo my Ghana emu o kire se nsemi ne na montre so no kra wate bie ne ho dwire ne pa Ghana 14 nsemi a ye mongu eyehudu radasem
One central for Ekasano, and a sofa no HRS, said the Adam Montini so say abain efa any padu do say 11,000. Awabamo edumeku awudu nimuno, no crabia anymore. A fenso, one way chim amount for sa edu semusika, HRS obetimia boawonum, ama wakakoka bambofo huno. Want you on Fisadi and Hunyasa padia, and Maquina and Wadu ebefaso.
Afternoon, friends from the media. This press conference has arisen because a few days or weeks ago there were some speculations out there that some 11,000 or so persons are being recruited into the security agencies. We want to say that that speculation is not actually accurate. The numbers are not accurate. Number two, granted that even that is the case, which is not, we are likely to plunge the country into insecurity by beginning to now attribute the fact that eligible citizens of this country who have met or would have met the eligibility criteria into recruitment into the security agencies are being now labeled as thugs and party people. We have to be careful the direction we are going.
And which way and I was central Marshal Bejuni HRS security intelligence agencies no and to me efa and crofo ebo wejuma yokunu emundemu and interior minister.
That we have not started recruitment. I've heard a lot of things out there. And for the records, the Ministry of the Interior does not do recruitment. We are policy drivers. It is the security intelligence agencies that does recruitment. And they have a criteria for people to meet. And then they do the number of persons that they need. And the Ministry of Finance will give the approval. Once the approval is given, they go through that process and then they engage. I want also to add that we have heard that as a result of this publication, a lot of people are extorting monies from people. They are scamming people. They are collecting various amounts of monies from people under the pretext of helping them into the security agencies. Please, the public should know that recruitment has not started. And so anybody who pays money to anybody, does so at his own risk. And even when we are recruiting, people cannot sell recruitment to anybody. It's a criminal offense. And anybody who has been a victim should report same immediately to the nearest police station for anybody who has done so to be arrested and prosecuted.
Yento so na yenko yenimo ensem foforo emu bako central na so bedwani rama mayaruga e de atodwa se enche bia edom kuma no ebedi dom anim na wate ese montene so ayo ye kire mu eden etia Bank of Ghana the governor and afa board eda no esan se kwan mo fa so ebu Bank of Ghana eto ne totoye no kwasem ni anhwe ye a ede omen ebeko dichia mo men ya Ctv Kasiepo Wachiro senche bia de beto dwose Bank of Ghana ye na adwen se wo si headquarters foforo e wo my Ghana mu wogidi se sa anamon ya wo tuei enya na mo papa e mo men wo kwan bia so e be se iska enti wo munim na so munim ne ye ma wo nom de a wo mfa wo ne mangu foma nsa na bre na so nyesa wo mbegusu ayo ye kira kopim se wo de nhye e beto wo nom so amo resign e fredwuma no mo.
There were media reports by some of you that the central bank has gone into some understanding with the government to recapitalize the bank. But the crux of the matter is that given how they have run down the central bank, given how they have failed in terms of monetary policy, given how they have failed in terms of holding inflation, given how they have failed in terms of holding prices, given how their failure in monetary policy, which has led to high interest rates, making it impossible for businesses to borrow and making it impossible for businesses to expand, generally making it impossible to do good business in Ghana, which has led many businesses to fold up and then move to other countries, and how all that has generated unemployment. We have taken a stand that the central bank management must be held accountable. They can't mess up the economy the way that they have and just be allowed to keep staying there and not be held accountable in any way, quite apart from the issues of what we believe to be corruption in the procurement of the head office building. And what we refuse to see, what we see as a refusal of the central bank governor to account. And if you recall, when we demonstrated to the office, that's the head office building, and we demanded that he received a petition from us as a minority, he refused to be available to receive the petition, and actually publicly, described us as hooligans. And at that demonstration, if you recall, we said that we're going, but that we will come back. It is time to go back. And we are marching back to the central bank to demand the resignation of the governor and his deputies and the board of the bank. And we have written to the regional police commander. We have indicated the route we want to use and the date we have given him, which is 30th of this month. And I have received an invitation from the regional police command for a meeting at 2 o'clock this afternoon.
Yento aso na yenko yenim wo ensem foforo emu yegusu aye wo edom kuma eho ensemsem emu na wode ato dwa se agreement ya eda lithium mining ho no wanyi ntum wo kwan bia so wo kire se wo gidi se sa agreement announce adwen na panyifo announce ensa wode ahye dwumadie no ase no wo gidi se ensemsem bi wo mu e wo se nka enwanimu ya panyifo hwe na nka wo ka ho asem nanso e ka me esase wo gya no ato honom bagaya ya wo mpese wo beka ho asem nti kwapem se panyifo be hwe ho asem aka no enya de adom kuma no e be so kwan bia so.
Concerns about mining in forests on water bodies and other things just because they want it to pass. Mr. Speaker, nothing in our standing order today that will stop us from allowing them to lay. But be assured, you will not be allowed to cajole anybody to lay a lithium agreement for anyone to go and mine in a reserve forest. Even if it will give us 10 trillion, we don't care. You'll be forced to do the right thing and make sure the environment is protected, not for you and I only, but for the future generations yet unborn. So we are not going to stand in the way of laying, but the committee that this will be referred to. And Mr. Speaker, we are just about to approve the new committees under the new standing order. People have been attempting for this to be referred to a joint committee. Today, we are encouraging you to refer this to only the Committee of Lands, yes, and Natural Resources. This idea, yes, because this idea of this joint committee creates a problem. Mining has nothing to do with energy. Mining is a land and natural resource matter. So, Mr. Speaker, we were hoping that we will complete the setting up of the committees today before we make the referral. Those who are pushing for this to be laid ahead of time should know this will not be referred to Mines and Energy and Lands Committee. It must necessarily go to the Lands and Natural Resource Committee only. And we shall follow up to make sure that the right thing is done for this country. No one is allowed to mine and then when we do this, and then the people are crying their communities, the parliament absorbs itself. It is our responsibility to approve the agreement and do the oversight of this, Mr. Speaker. Those are the only things I have to say before we go ahead.
Edom kuma womra so bedwam ede ato aban ni mo se fam obo ye wo man mu no anu eden dodo fam obo eden dodo e wo man Ghana mu nti aban no entena senwere Ghana fo ho no onye humobro kakra mo man no onye bibi mfa fam obo ho o man mo.
Today, as you may be aware, the price of a liter of fuel is higher than it used to be for a gallon of fuel. During our time, the gallon of fuel was about 14 cedi. Today, a liter is about 15 point something cedi. The Gold for Oil program, our checks indicate that it's causing serious financial loss to the state. As if that is not enough, the exchange rate is depreciating. As if that is also not enough, fuel prices keep going up. Last week it went up, this week it's gone up. This will certainly impact inflation, it will impact productivity, and it will make the cost of living high. And it's all because of the exchange rate. And so clearly, government has lost it. Government is unable to handle the exchange rate. And I think that the managers of the economy ought to sit up and do what is right and proper. Whilst the Bank of Ghana is spending millions of cedis and dollars on the Gold for Oil program, the currency is not stabilizing. The cedi is depreciating, fuel prices are going up, cost of living is going up, and everybody is suffering. But worst of all, wages and salaries are stagnating. Wages and salaries are not going up. And so, hitherto, under President Mahama, whilst you could buy 2 bags of rice with your minimum wage, today you cannot even buy 1 bag of rice with your minimum wage. The managers of the economy have lost it. And I think that Dr. Bawumia, instead of calling for a debate, he should rather spend some time to concentrate on managing the economy. Because the cost of living is going through the roof. We cannot continue like that.
Yen freedom kumano nsem so na fe yen fa yen nkyeremu e won nsem foforo mu from plains ene yesane ayesie na driver fo e wo ho ene won boafo atoto bi e de amani Volta Lake Company ene aban ye te so yi se sabi wonum e gunu kotumam shawto agro bi enya de a won manage won kwan bia so esansa na nsan wo hyebo senka Volta Lake nsuo no ensam so bi a eda so ba bi enka mbesiesie na nka akone abansma gina na so so besinne omunye hwemfa ho enti ene abufo de won boafo pa ene ensem kyerefo atwetwe nkomoyi
Afam Bridge no efi 2016 ene beye nsem kese pa eda Ghana for dudu na anosanse empenimfo empese wobeye bridge no ede ama wonumo ya eye Volta Lake Transport Company Authorities no nso ene ahyenkafo eya brano otadi si ani na efa bridge yi ehu na cargo drivers chairman eye owura akwasi danso wone nsentwefo atwetwe nkomo ekyerese eye kwawutafo adoso kwan no eye ade bia empenimfo atwibani ede afi ho a wonpese wobeye bibibia ede afa ho enu nam so Emma ahokyere pa ena ababe mene dodo na ya wowo biaye no na Volta Lake Transport Company fonsu esu sei aban enye maintenance bia enfema wonumo ni senti wonumo etwasuo ede woniema ekọ baabi fufo ni na no wonumo nkwa eda ensaye mu
banto na edukensu no banto na sei Mas banto no mo yade ba 2011 by every 2013 ba na ehu se ngi ba kwase anybody for transakasa se be ya ombe they are no maka jazenye majority say na a number people buying Djibouti. Last week right no kase last week I say go see get the money go ana Djibouti ko the buy na bantu ayapwa ama de wa we pass one wa kasi nyina kan so ebisu wo da jawo ka bebre the same place na tre so gaba ka yesi ko be bridge amaye the bridge na ma aka wenu ka mo maintain no maye na ke ntwi fa ye de e fa na the so ensu asate toto e from ewu ye ti anye ye be pa bantu de ba bia de be ko e fa se papa ma
enu atwe Afam Plains South Mashebedwini Joseph Apia Boating ene yenkasai
from fe ni mo ama bantu fe ni mo ama say what the car twa na kwa twamne bo ana say abebo bia amanfo ntumi ntua enti ye besre aban say o twere mbehwa Afam Plains bantu no tem bia o tena so a na hia mframa na ade ekwo wom anu ntie ma MPs mienu ayo amene ni Sister Betty ena DC Evans ene Okore Eko aye Volta Transport Authority for yekoye no omudi anu mbase omabeye amaye ampa achi mi friend omo se bosume so me friend omo se ni na ye aduma last week in Bafram Prince, Ibisa, almost a year, na say a sharp storm on us and Frama, na Dingy Bakuna account, but our normal time, I have used back. Let me see you when you try and provide. Because we look to this committee, say, we can Ctv Kasiepo and the solution. Now, the message I say, nearby, any politics in Bafram Prince, and yen this assembly, and yen BP assembly. I am from Prince assembly at the Eka. Mijina as MP, me sutra by, and me swam a mount for so say, and I'm a MP, or Chabina MP.
The Crackrambo Nashenka be Eddie Wohow, to Ctv Kasiepo, any.
Yenia branding in I say, driver for a number from Waja, I did Pantu, a year Duma. If you are also best called on problem and bottom, or how I know Muno, and your how Ketua. Just a Pantona, Bruniniano, and our company, Omoya and Indian, as would do any more, now do any mercy for a broom fear do need 10 years near Pantono, Injiba, Quase. Yanni Panto for a meeting several times. Common fire, someone yasam. Come here, say, young Macron, Cocopuna, Akodu, Akosubu. And now, Yadimo Swa, airline place on my year to man. Obercono, and what to 2 pavement program the end. I done it, I would be from now. Okay, one will do a room, okay, mini, but what's out to Tomua Bedua, Pantona now car be mini. Yet the China cop Pantone, so. But Brunensu has not do any more cost or not do any more pew. Now, all corner break will fail you now, say, be your Pantone, so no master will say, yeah, and son, ye Jao can say.
Afei yenko ejwadie eni sikasem Kasiepo emu. Sunyane Bono Mantem Kropono Emuna, Sunyane Municipal Assembly, and I want ede atu just say, Emma, a jam former, ya a one and abusma, Jackassian Moa, one more day and some aquada quarto, Senka quarto, and Fanshe, and to Sunyane Municipal Assembly, so another Roma, Casam winning free, a quarter, no may and no one kind sunset, a young punto one summer, and this aman supreme way in Apa. Now, a Jackassia was so about business for fro, a day ama a jam former at na what me edijano so we yes me every quarter and na fisema e betimi mpo ama dan this year no aye wano na boa ama mpuntuo atimi atretre sunyan kropon no mo empo akọ enkura etwa ho hia eso
Another and was sign a free and 70 bium was Sunyani High Court. Ya any pemiensa into me uncle Demo ever Hosan say, to know editor one many say. Once Uncle Junior who bio say or per se, court to Nankasa etna semnoso, and now one cassa, Ebina Wahuntia Siena, we see and semino, and until court to know the two when him. Till July 25th, one sound sumbra bio, how we didn't see no one far ember to ja. Emrenimni ya wakasa, Ediama, Ejedifui, a lawyer, Dauda, Awudu, one is Ctv Kasiepo, Echichun Komono. What's say one more say assembly no able to me edi proposal ebeboa edwedifo no ebeba ne momuno so one more proposal no na se emwa one mu kwan bia so a wo behwe sensem no ebesan so akokot bio
assembly of court the injunction application about court there is no way assembly because of two more before the 23rd so what matters me is that we are aware the any action here the practice M1 serious say the I don't think they are because of the before the 26th of July. What matters most right now is that Nema say that from how much I say how movies here from Mama. What matters most again ESA simply you buy the stop line. I'm not idea of it is a young once here when you come back to court. So that is the most important.
Amafo bekaye Nana Busuma Market Container Traders Association we no aban no anasa assembly no eye se wotu wonum ede afiu baby a wodi wonum edwa no na emei se wonum empene sanse wotwe sika pa esanso ese sika ewo container ahodo a woyeye ede besi ho no ehu enti no wonum empene so ne anase echinampo na aban no anase assembly no ansanso kra ama wonum mpatesike bia no ene wonum ehaw na Ctv Kasiepo epem so ano yehunu se ne emei epem so se assembly yi anya hwe ama wonum ntino wontumi ntu wo mo no sa assembly no anya ne ntem ampe kasada bi anase wampata wonum kwan so nkoso a ensem no betimi achepa ewo court demo no nti na assembly no ede ba se anka wonum ntina se na wonya won ho ntiase ensem no enkoye court sembia enso lawyer Awudu Dauda etere se wonum die wedi kan ede proposal ede akwakoma assembly no se assembly ni hwe ne a ema ne pe wonye enfema wonum anye sadia wonum ntiase ensem no court demo a enebewo na se koso a ewo court so dia na chese dwumedi a wonum ba bedi ewo biaye a meyi eton ade no ebetwentwen ni nase
ye ma me mo a sebi omajiga some of them dey 15 years some of them 10 years some of them 3 years no omo na Busuma market na ni say assembly no say na go mo fi ho na omo ye omo project no dey assembly ba court na some no court no assembly for no ba say no gonna try say the very very in Ghana coming. Assembly for me say Omatia say Omi man for na feel Omi omufi ya no more baby akati Omi ye Omi Ghana and say ya shops now so we see na me ya do ma omo no mo ma omo first option of refusal say so on heavy no me the money for na we no yeah lawyers no yeah they say if no court is na you dey issue kana they do nkata so yeah ni asana ba judgment ni dey na asana ma judgment obi get to say na parties ni aje to say ni ya na asana ni ya and see na me ya ma le back on the 25th of July I know I see a few new additions. If never been cut off with a
Afia Brempomaa for cross so na ensama ewo ho yemfa ensomwe Yeko Kenya maino emo Kenya posifo asaniteer gas ene akode egu omanfo a woyo ye kire so amasesebrei ayepinso wo maino emo ni nyina ne se omanfo kire se Owura William Ruto ya we mampanyini ma Kenya maino na mamu wonmo mpe wo gu omaino kwambia so enti Owura nankasa emfa ne dibre entofom sa mampanyini nanso se wanya de ne no onum de nhye ye mu eden ebeto ne so eno ena akofa sa ye na nyina abe
I just want my voice to be heard, and I just want the president to know that we don't want what he's doing. Like, the economy is just bad, and we don't like it.
This is our land. We are dying here. We get justice or we die here. And the irreversible minimum is either the president abide by what the people are telling him. We gave him that power. It is time for him to abide by what we are telling him. Or we demand IMF to come and carry their own puppet.
Afia Kenya nsemi so na yegyinama Afia Brempomaa Kasiepo ya yedesum wo Ctv so no yede nyina sie ye na mpanyefo achinchim fide ni from won makeka ne omabo ani ma kasie yede esom wo no yeda won ase wa wo hwe ye abefo ntenten fide ni so yeda wase wa wo hwe ye e wo fie nso aseda piesie ye wodia Afia yi musomfo eyeme Afia Brempomaa Hineh nyame adoma ye besen hia brepem aso sabre de yede nkra